Hello, beautiful. If you hear an echo, I apologize. I thought a change of scenery would be nice today. So, if you're new, welcome. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing and liking the video if you end up liking this content. But if you're a returning subscriber, you know you're the real MVP. So my hair didn't start out this way, but I thought I would still film this intro. So you probably see the process. You will, not probably, you will see the process after this. And I just wanted to show you a quick video on how I have been using the kalunji oil or the black seed oil so far over the past 2 weeks. Now, of course, if this is not all that you want to learn about black seed oil, make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to learn about it so I can include it in a future video. But other than just what I'll be showing you today, make sure you stay tuned for next week when I will be trying out a hair mask with black seed oil and see what that does to my hair. So thank you as always for watching, and let's get into this video.
Hello again. So as you can see, I started out on quite dry hair and I have 2 sections poking out there, which in a few seconds you will see me point out, because I wanted to demonstrate what it would look like doing this routine both on hair that is not braided up, that has no style in it, and also on hair that has some kind of protective style on it. So you can see my hair has practically no movement and it's pretty dry, but we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that and make sure I'm good to go. And with any routine, you start with moisturizing your hair. If it's not wash day, of course, you have to ensure that you moisturize your hair. My product of choice to moisturize my hair has been flaxseed gel, and I recently, over the past months, after I tried out fenugreek, decided to add it to my gel that I use to moisturize my hair. Water is the only source of moisture in your hair routine, so do not start any type of oil treatment without making sure that your hair is moisturized properly. It doesn't have to be wet, but ensure that your hair is moisturized and feeling good before you go in with any kind of oil. Now, granted, if it's wash day for you, that's not a necessity, but just ensure that if you're adding any products that you'd want to stay in your hair for longer than probably a day, then it's best to moisturize your hair. As I said, I use flaxseed gel, but some other options are to use, a conditioner spray. Just get some water, put in your leave-in conditioner and spray it all over your hair. It's a great way to introduce moisture into your hair. But also, water sprayed on its own sometimes doesn't last as long when the water is mixed in with something else. But ensure that with any routine where you're re-moisturizing your hair, water is involved, as I keep on saying. So you can clearly see my hair is looking much better. There's a bit more movement. Now my curls are not as defined, but that's okay. The important thing is my hair is moisturized. We're not necessarily looking for curl definition here. It's just to ensure the hair is moisturized. I'm going in with my kalunji oil, of which you can simply see is just a few black seeds and some oil, but we'll get into that later on in the video. And the first thing I do when I am moisturizing my hair or re-moisturizing my hair is I start by applying the oil to my scalp. So if you have your hair out, it would be better to work in sections. And you will see that I am not using any type of applicator bottle, and I think this allows me not to use too much oil, and I will keep on mentioning certain points just to remind you. But yes, I apply the oil to my scalp, and even as I am applying the oil, I don't just saturate my hair with the oil. I try to apply only what I think my hair will need. Then I also go in with a little bit extra on my ends, because our ends tend to be the driest, so most times they need a little bit more tender loving and care. than the rest of our hair tends to need. So I've recently started doing it again. I have no idea why I stopped doing it, but I've added it back to my routine where I go in and add some oil to my ends. So of course my curls don't look as defined, but my hair looks so much better than it did when I started out. You can see it has more movement and more shine. And the great thing about using these two products together is they leave no residue on my hair, but they also do not weigh my hair down. So this works very well even if you do not have your hair in a protective style. I think this is a good option to go for. So something I wanted to show you is, in case you want to look into buying black seeds, because they're not very common, this is what they look like. They are pretty small. They kind of have an almond or teardrop shape, but they're very small black seeds. So if you're looking for them on the market, this is what you look for. And if you've ever smelled cumin, they have a very distinct smell, very similar to what we use when cooking, which is the brown cumin. So when you smell that and you see those type of seeds as I'm showing you in the camera, then you know it's black seeds. And this is what it looks like in sort of a powder form, not a very fine powder. I just used a mortar and pestle, and you see the side-by-side comparison. The powder has a more grayish black color, but the seeds are definitely a very dark color. So in case you want to buy them, that is what they look like. Okay, now that I'm done with those two sections of hair that I left out, I am going to go back in and ensure the rest of my scalp is also tended to, because as I said, I wanted to show you what this would look like on hair that is not in any kind of protective style, but also in case you do have a protective style in. Granted, I don't have extensions. You can still go ahead and use the same routine and oil your scalp. And I mentioned before how I like to use my fingers. So this helps me massage the oil into my scalp, and as I massage and I do that, it also stimulates, blood flow to my scalp, which aids in hair growth. Another advantage to using my fingers is I tend not to use as much product as I would have had I used an applicator bottle. But it also allows me to feel around my scalp, feel for if I feel any issues, any dryness, anything out of the norm. And this is what my hair looks like, so much more movement, and you can see some of the curls are looking nice and defined, and my hair is looking pretty good so far, and I'm happy with that. So now, just as we did for the sections that were left out unbraided or unplaited, I'm going into every section that I already braided or that I left braided, and I'm going in with the oil at the ends, and this will help ensure that my ends are also taken care of. I did mention before that it's something that I've started recently doing, especially with this hair growth challenge. And I also wanted to show you what that oil looks like close up. So with the first method, which you can use as well to make kalunji oil, I just added some black seeds, a tablespoon to some oil. And that's the one that I've been using for the past 2 weeks. But I thought, let me try out the one with the powdered black seeds, of which all you have to do is just use a mortar and pestle. I do not advise using a blender because these seeds are quite small, unless your blender is capable of doing that. So as I said, I'm just adding oil from my already made black seed oil to the crushed black seeds. And this method will produce the characteristic dark oil that usually you see when it is advertised as black seed. So you can see as I swirl it around, you can already see the pigment change. And these are two oils. You can see the difference. One does not have the dark pigment, but the one with the powdered black seeds does have the much darker pigment. So both are really good methods to go with. However, the powdered one will produce a more potent oil, so it's up to you what you would like to use, but both are still effective. So that's them side by side, so you can see the difference in the pigment. And that's all for my routine. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'm always willing and ready to help. If I can help you, of course, I will lead you to someone who can. That's all for this week, and I'll be back soon. Bye.